all these guests in the viewing panel, must be such a proud moment for them to watch these happenings. Here comes the commando, and he gives the book to the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and the Chief of Naval Command and the Prime Minister, they launch the book. What a grand event.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Honorable Prime Minister has just released the book on maritime heritage of India in a hardbound version, and will now launch the ebook version that will be freely available for download on 3 websites. That is www.maritimeheritageofindia.com, www.indiannavy.nic.in, and www.ina.gov.in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
from this
the
moment
Honorable
onwards.
Raksha Mantri will now present a memento to the Honorable Prime Minister.
Look at this
Shri
visual
Narendra Modi,
spectacle as we rejoice the launch of this book.
to commemorate
A moment
the
of history,
International
ladies and
Fleet
gentlemen.
Review 2016.
That's the respectable Defence Minister presenting this memento to the Honorable Prime Minister of our country.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch the e-book version of the Maritime Heritage of India.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maritime Heritage of India. The book has officially been released, and look at the festivities surrounding it. Indeed, a moment of pride for the Indian Navy on the release of such a huge book in such a momentous occasion. Let me repeat that this book will also be freely available for download on the 3 websites: maritimeheritageofindia.com, www.indiannavy.nic.in, and www.ina.gov.in this moment onwards. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the concluding part of today's demonstration. And Shri Narendra Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, will now address the audience. As we can see the ships illuminated.
May I now request the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to address the City of Destiny, Visakhapatnam. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Prime Minister of India.
Honorable Governor of Andhra Pradesh, Chief Minister Sri Chandrababu ji, my cabinet colleagues, delegates of foreign navies, brave and proud men and women of the Indian Navy, and the resolute people of this great city, Visakhapatnam. I am privileged to visit Visakhapatnam. The city has a special place in the heart of all Indians. My last visit to Visakhapatnam was in October 2014. At that time, Cyclone Hudhud had left the city shattered in pieces. But the people of Visakhapatnam smiled in the face of adversity. It is a tribute to the city that within 14 months you have risen against all odds to welcome the navies from across the continents in this internal fleet review. A little over a year ago, we saw the full fury of the ocean. Today, thanks to the spirit of the people of Visakhapatnam, we are discussing how the oceans can be a source of economic prosperity for all of us. For its courage and resolve, we all salute the city of Visakhapatnam. My profuse thanks to the men and women of the Indian Navy for their tireless dedication for making this fleet review a truly historic success. My sincere gratitude also to Chief Minister Chandrababu for his strong support for this international event. For me, personally, witnessing the harmony among the best of international navies here has been a rewarding experience. Just over 3 months earlier in October, we welcomed in Delhi for the first time ever all the 54 African nations, including over 40 heads of state for the third India-Africa Summit. A few weeks earlier, in August 2015, India had hosted in Jaipur 14 heads of the state for the second Forum for India-Pacific Island Cooperation. Just day before yesterday, we welcome all the SAARC countries for the 12th South Asian Games in Guwahati. And today, it is our pleasure to welcome 50 foreign navies from every corner of the globe at India's second International Fleet Review, the first one on India's East Coast. Your participation is a message of cooperation and friendship that we deeply cherish. On behalf of my countrymen, I thank you all for accepting our invitation and joining in this event with such a spirit. To build on the gain from today's gathering, India would host the first ever Global Maritime Summit in April this year. Its priority would be to scale up and strengthen the vibrant trade, investment, technology, and commercial linkages between India and other maritime nations. Friends, the oceans and world's waterways are global commons. Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the concept of whole world as a family, is perhaps mostly vividly witnessed on the oceans of the planet that connect us all. The last time India hosted the International Fleet Review was in the year 2001 in the city of Mumbai. The world of 2016 is vastly different. Its politics is turbulent and its challenge is complex. At the same time, The oceans are the lifeline of global prosperity. They present us with great economic opportunities to build our nations. Over 90% of global merchandise trade is carried on the oceans. Over the last 15 years, its value has grown from about $6 trillion to about $20 trillion. Oceans are critical for the global energy security, as over 60% of world's oil production moves through sea routes. Our ability to reap economic benefits from the oceans rests on our capacity to respond to the challenges in the maritime domain. The threat of sea-borne terror, of which India has been a direct victim, continues to endanger the regional and global peace and stability. Piracy too remains a strong challenge. The threat of natural disasters like tsunami and cyclone is ever present. Man-made problems such as oil spills, climate change continue to risk the stability of the maritime domain. A peaceful and stable maritime environment is therefore critical for the regional and global security. It is also a must to harvest the riches of the oceanic ecosystems. Given the scale and complexity of modern day challenges, the international maritime stability cannot be the preserve of a single nation. It has to be a shared goal and responsibility of all the seafaring countries. To this end, the navies and maritime agencies of the world need to work together and engineer virtuous cycles of cooperation. But where necessary, they also need to act to secure the international sea lanes of communication. I believe that if oceans were to propel our economies, then we must use seas to build peace, friendship, and trust, and curb conflict, respect and ensure freedom of navigation, and cooperate, not compete. In responding to the challenges in the seas, the large presence of foreign navies at this fleet review is a confirmation of our shared urge to walk the pathways of peace and cooperation. To keep the maritime domain safe and secure, friends, India is and has always been a maritime nation. India's ancient Sanskrit texts also refer to the oceans as the storehouse of Chaturdashanam Ratnanam, the 14 gems. Surrounded by sea from 3 sides, India has a long coastline of over 7,500 kilometers. We have been blessed with a rich maritime heritage ever since Lothal in Gujarat became one of the earliest seaports of the world. India's central location in the Indian Ocean has connected us with other cultures, shaped our maritime trade routes, influenced India's strategic thought, and defined our maritime character. Since the days of the Indus Valley civilization, India has maintained an extensive network of maritime links, including with Africa, Western Asia, the Mediterranean, the West, South, East Asia, and the Far East. We are delighted that the navies from all these regions have joined in this fleet review. The photo essay book on the maritime heritage of India that I have just released showcases the glorious maritime tradition. Friends, in modern times too, the oceans, especially the Indian Ocean, occupy a vital place in India's national security and economic prosperity. The waters of the Indian Ocean touch the shores of over 40 countries. About half of world's container traffic and close to 1/3 of world's cargo traffic passes through this region. 90% of our trade by volume and 90% of our oil imports are carried on the seas. India's 1,200 island territories and our huge exclusive economic zone of 2.4 million square kilometers make clear the economic significance of the Indian Ocean. For us, it also serves as a strategic bridge with the nations in our immediate and extended maritime neighborhood. In March last year, in Mauritius, I had spelled out our vision for the Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean region is one of my foremost policy priorities. Our approach is evident in our vision of Sagar, which means ocean, and stands for security and growth for all in the region. We would continue to actively pursue and promote our geopolitical strategy and economic interests on the seas, in particular the Indian Ocean. To this, India's modern and multidimensional navy leads from the front. It is a force for a peace and good. A network of growing political and economic maritime partnership and strengthening of regional frameworks also help us pursue our goals. Friends, India's quest for economic prosperity through oceans is a part of our larger effort to transform India. We are not just a bright spot in the global economy. Regionally and internationally, we are a pillar of stability and important growth center. India's rise is in harmony with the goal of maintaining the regional and global peace and security. Within the country, there is great optimism, enthusiasm, and a can-do mindset. This optimism comes from the energy and the enterprise of our confident youth. It also comes from our bold and sustained measures to transform our country, improve our laws, processes, and institutions. We are launching new initiatives and creating opportunities to empower people and give them a sense of ownership in nation's progress. Make in India, which has reignited our manufacturing sector, is one such initiative. Defense manufacturing and shipbuilding are among its focus areas. In a week from now, on 13 February, we will hold 7 days of global engagement under Make in India in Mumbai. During this time, the best in the global industry would link up with the innovation, design, and manufacturing opportunities of India, the world's fastest growing economy. We want to invite the whole world to make in India, make for India, and make for the world. We take pride in the fact that all the Indian naval ships participating in this fleet review, at least 37 are made in India. A number that will surely rise in the coming years. Our Skill India program is building institutions that train, support, encourage, and guide our 800 million youth on the path of entrepreneurship. Our skilled youth are ready to respond to the national and global manpower demands of the 21st century. An important part of India's transformation is my vision of blue economy in its widest sense. The blue chakra, or the wheel in our national flag, represents the potential of the blue economy. An essential part of this pursuit is the development of India's coastal and island territories, but not just for tourism. We want to build new pillars of economic activity in the coastal areas and a linked hinterlands through sustainable tapping of oceanic resources. Strengthening our marine research, development of eco-friendly marine industrial and technology base, and fisheries are other elements of our goal. In this endeavor, I see youth in the coastal areas as our true assets. They have a natural and deep understanding of the oceans. They could lead the way in the development of blue economy in India. In partnership with all coastal states of India, I want to shape a special program of skilling India's youth in the coastal areas of the country. Friends, in the end, let me once again congratulate the Indian Navy for the flawless conduct of this grand event. For the homeward journey of all our naval friends from across the world, may you always have a fair winds, following seas, and many a fathom below your keel. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi for his motivational words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, shift your eyes from the seas onto the beautiful